All right. Did you get a notice that the recording is happening? Because I didn't get that notice on my end.
Yep.
Right. Cool. All right. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Carvel Community Meeting. Today's date is August 23rd, 2023. If you're watching this recording from home, I encourage you to come join us live. We meet every second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's a good way for you to come and meet folks that are working on the project, other people who are using the tools, ask questions on how to use the tools, bring up any feature requests, provide feedback, all that fun stuff. So come and join us. We would love to meet you and have you in the meeting. For those that are on today's call and have something they want to discuss, just add that to the discussion topics here at the end, and we will get to it in the meeting. If you're unable to join these meetings live and you still have questions and need to reach out to us, you can find us in several areas. You can find us in the Carvel channel in the Kubernetes Slack workspace. You can email us. You can find us within any of our GitHub repos, and you can find us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Carvel_dev. If at any point you are interacting with us or any members of the community, please read and abide by our code of conduct. So moving on to the agenda, just want to remind everyone we do have this pinned issue here that's in our website community repo that asks questions and details about how you're using Carvel tools. I'm actually considering adding this similar issue to all of the tools repos that are specific to each tool, but for now we just have this one in the main Carvel repo. So it just asks for how you're using the tools, links to your website, the use cases, and attaching your logo. If you can hear my dog crying right now, it's because he wants to be outside of this room, but he can't. So please add those details. It helps us learn how others are using it and in the development process, and also helps the community understand how folks are using the tools and how they may also be able to use them. Next up is just if you're attending this meeting, add your name here. It is optional. We just want to keep track of those who are attending the meetings. On to announcements and other things. I do want to just say from on a personal note about the news of Chris Nova. For those that are unaware of who she was a huge figure in the Kubernetes community, and she was just absolutely amazing in so many different ways. She was brilliant. I had known her for quite some time. I'm trying not to get emotional, but I just wanted to make sure that we did take a moment to express our feelings about her. She was instrumental in bringing Twilio and to Carvel as a Carvel adopter, and was really supportive in that way. And she was supportive of Carvel tools, and so she was such a huge impact in the community at large, and she'll be greatly missed. So if you don't know who she is or who she was, I encourage you to go read all about her life and what she did to contribute to Kubernetes. It's quite amazing. All right, on to content stuff. We haven't had anything since we last met. We don't have anything coming out this week that I know of, but I am working on through some AI tools to help me turn this enlightening video into a blog post. It's over 2 hours long. It's a really good synopsis of some of the Carvel tools with Lee Capilli. but it's so long, and I want to try to turn it into something that's readable and people can search for the different highlights in the video. But I have a really interesting transcripted blog post that AI put out for me, so I'm just gonna tweak that and turn it into a post soon, so be on the lookout for that. For those out in the community that do have something they want to share about how they're using the Carvel tools, if you have anything interesting, if you want to write a blog post, do a video, anything like that, workshop, if you have a talk coming up, please let us know. We want to make sure we promote it and also send you some Carvel swag. So there's a sign up process here in the repo, so just go there and let us know what you're going to be discussing. We'll be sure to promote it. All right, releases. Doesn't look like we had any since we last met. Moving on to status updates for the project roadmap. Do we have any update for OITT support emitting comments and resulting YAML?
Not at this point in time.
Okay. And then Carvel overall, the signature and SLSA attestation for Carvel artifacts.
Almost isn't down. Yeah, but I'm just gonna say they're just work in progress, nothing to call out over there. But it's still on our radar. Both of the items for that matter.
Okay. And then the next one on the list was Carvel supports the ability to sign and verify assets. But it looks like, sorry. Yeah, yeah, you've been gone and caught up, or at least had a lot on your plate last few weeks. So you're still fleshing out some details. Cool. Any questions or comments on those before we move forward? Alrighty, on to the backlog. Kapp-controller reducing memory footprint.
I can talk about this one. So I think Fritz might already know Usman. So Usman had raised the issue that while they were installing a package created based on a Helm chart, the Prometheus Helm chart, there was an issue that they were facing. So as soon as the package install reconciles the second time, the deployment would fail because it was consuming a fairly high memory over there. Mostly because the Helm chart has around 6K lines of YAML. So, and we do a lot of copying of stuff in Cap, which is causing memory spikes. So we're trying to do profiling and trying to reduce the memory usage over there. Yep, that's just of the issue.
Cool, thanks, Praveen. Any questions or comments with that? Okay, moving on to KControl, bug fix around using values while building. More thought being put in around generating a tar-like pushable artifact while releasing package repositories. Who can speak on that?
I can talk about that actually. So the first one was actually a bug around something we released a while back, where we want folks to be able to use the KControl package release command to sort of build while supplying some values. So essentially what the build step does is it actually runs the templating and then uses Cable to figure out which images it should build. And in certain cases, the templating step won't pass unless some values are supplied. And the problem was when folks were using this flag, it was actually affecting the package output, which was not intended. So there's a fix for that. That's up. We'll probably be merging it away tomorrow. Hopefully, Praveen, I don't know. But yeah, so it'll probably go in tomorrow. And yeah, that's about it for that. And but the second one, it's so we have this use case where instead of when we're releasing a package repository, instead of actually pushing to a registry, we just want to sort of generate a tar file directory, which can then be pushed if we want to, or moved somewhere else, right? That's the requirement that we have. And so I'll be spending some time sort of hammering this out, because cool fact, like we'll most likely be having an LFX mentee join us next month, and they'll be working on this with me. So that's why. So that's something we'll be hammering out in the coming weeks so that we have something in place, right?
Very cool. Have we heard anything back about the mentee that we've chosen? Or
So we're supposed to make that choice by 29th, I believe.
okay.
Yeah.
Have you narrowed it down?
No, because somehow I'm not listed as a mentee yet, but I've told Nate, and they said that they'll help us out with that. So
Okay, cool. Cool. For those that didn't catch that, we are participating in the Linux Foundation mentor-mentee program as a project. So it's our first time participating and we're super excited. Oh, sorry, I'm getting called by the guy that's working on my stuff. For image package, the fix bug number 373, where image package shouldn't error when no command is given.
I can entertain while you go there.
Okay.
So basically, so that there's like a bug for like the longest time, I think, maybe since last year, last couple of years or something like that, where if you run like image package without anything on it, it would just fail. And it would fail like in a different way that the other tools from Carvel did. So what, my God, I forget, you forgot their name.
Ashish,
there we go. Did was fix it. So right now, when you do image package without anything, the output is closer to the other tools, which is much better than previously. So there you go. This is basically the fix. So thank you, Ashish, for it. By the way, we're planning to release, or at least I am planning to release an image package version somewhere maybe this week or next week, so that we can have like new features that were implemented by a couple of people for image package that has been like, I don't remember when was the last time we did a release. So I think it's time for us to get that out of the way. So that's that. And that being said, I was able to extend the smallest issue for like almost 10 minutes. So Nancy, up to you again.
Good job. A professional elaborator. Okay, thank you. Wow. Any questions, comments on that before we move on? Okay, well, on to some more exciting stuff and discussion topics. We got copyright headers and all files in all the projects. Do we need to change these as the current headers use VMware Incorporated? That's a probably big yes. Who asked that?
I did. Yeah, it's most probably going to be a yes. But if we have to change it, what do we change it to? Do we have
CNCF.
any?
Right. The code is owned by CNCF now.
Okay.
But since we're doing that, we should also change the modules. Because like the
Not
modules
again.
are still pointing to the VMware repo. So I think there's like two things that need to happen. So we need to change the copyrights. To be fair, like the only thing I don't know here is if we should change the dates of the copyrights though. That's the part that I'm not 100% sure, but maybe Nancy can help us find somebody that can answer that question for us.
Yep, I can do that. And then I remember you told me how to pronounce this. German said, by the way, pivotal still appears in the code bases.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. I can look it up for you if you like, but yeah, I just wanted to follow up on that, but then it went out of my sight. Just wanted to ask if it like what should it be there? Like for YTT, if you grep, for example, for Pivotal, you will see some files there.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful to know. We should definitely figure out where all that appears and update it to CNCF.
Yeah, let's create 2 issues for these and track it there. One for copyright, one for module changes. Do we already have an issue for module changes?
I don't think so.
Yeah. And let's see, pivotal can be a small doc change.
Yeah, it looks like it is more documentation than anything else. And there's somebody added a Git together file to YTT that I think we can safely remove.
Okay. Are we fine to move on from this topic? Okay. Moving on to proposal for lazy syncing. All right, Fritz, would you like to talk about this?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we talked about this in length last time. And this is really just summing up what we agreed on. So I think the most important point here is that we introduce a flag. So that's a proposal to introduce a flag into the Vendir YAML so that you can switch on what we are calling here the lazy feature. So to basically only do a sync if the Vendir configuration has changed. So you can switch that on a directory level. And also, well, in order to store the last state of the configuration, the proposal here is to add an entry, a hash entry to the log config. And lastly, there's a proposal to add an eager flag to the binary so that if you have the lazy feature enabled in your Vendir config, you can then override that if you want to force a sync, even though your Vendir configuration hasn't changed. So yeah, as discussed last time, we have created this proposal, and we are hoping that this would help to push the process of getting this implemented along. There's also an implementation, like a draft implementation, that I've submitted just yeah, in case this speeds up things. And yeah, let's talk about what is now going to happen with this.
Thank you so much for putting this together.
Cool.
Okay, so like the next steps are change the status to become in review and create a PR with that to Carvel, and then share that out. And let's give maybe after we do share that out in Slack, and let's give it like a week as to see if there's like anything like there are any comments or anything. And I do believe that after that we could eventually accept the proposal. Not sure if we need to have a meeting to get there, but I don't think we need to. If like after 1 week there's nobody has anything to point, I think that should be it.
Mm-hmm. I think the PR is already there, so I would
PR.
say then I would just have to share that in Slack. And yeah, I guess that would be then the to-do for us. Do the Slack sharing.
And so, Joao, just as a process, would merging of the PR automatically mean that this is approved, or do we want to have a specific approver status saying approved or something?
Okay, I'm not muted, so that's good. That's a good question. There's like a status that needs to be changed into accepted as well. So 1 week after, like let's comment out, and the maintainers or anybody like who is for Vindir, the lead for Vindir and the approvers for Vindir should read this proposal, and as long as they do like a thumbs up on the comments, they should approve the PR. And if they approve the PR, then we go and we'll ask you, Fritz, to just change it to approved, I guess, or you can merge it and then we can change the status to approved then internally.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be it. Does that answer your question, Rudy?
Yeah, so the sharing would be in the main Carvel Slack channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just we can like just share there, like say like this is a proposal for Vineyard, something like that, and we are receiving feedback for the next 1 week, and by that time we will make a decision to go forward or not, and then basically that it will be merged if there's no like outstanding questions at that point. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
So today's the 23rd. If you share it today, then I'm assuming that on the 30th of August, we might be in a good spot.
Mm-hmm. And once this thing is merged, what would then happen?
So like if then we can jump back to the PR, and if the PR is ready, we can just review the PR and just merge it.
Okay, sounds
it's like, let's not make things more complicated than they have to be.
yeah. Okay, awesome. Good. Then everything is clarified on that matter. Thanks.
And this is the fix, the PR.
Yeah, this is the. Oh no, there's something else. This is the other
Something
issue
else?
on the agenda. There's also a draft merge request with the actual implementation to address the lazy syncing feature. I haven't put a link here though for that. I can find it.
I think it makes sense to go with a PR after the proposal is discussed.
Mm. Yeah. Definitely. Shall we move on to the next topic I added there?
Yeah, if there's no other comments or questions.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because so basically what you just had open, that was a merge request for an issue that we have found, which is basically if you specify the dependencies option, then you get an error if you do this without having a log file. So on first sync, and if you work with the directory option. So in other words, you want to specifically sync just one directory of your Vendir YAML, then you get an error, which is an issue for us because we have a generic logic that, well, our logic, our tool never does a sync on an entire Vendir YAML because we want to basically benefit from caching that we currently have implemented ourselves. So we go through every Vendir YAML directory by directory. And we currently have to build around this problem that if you do the very first sync and specify the directory flag, there will be an error. And yeah, so this is the issue. There's also a fix that would basically address this by if there is no log file and you do your first sync with the directory flag activated, it would create a log file containing only that directory. And then if you do a full sync on the entire Vendir YAML, it would add on to that. Or if you do a sync with the directory flag enabled on other directories, it would also add on to that Vendir log file. Did this make sense? Otherwise, I could also show the problem.
Would that be helpful for others if you showed the problem?
Yes, please.
Okay. I will stop sharing.
So basically, I have a Vendir YAML here with two directories. And what we are doing usually is we do a sync on one of them. Or we iterate over them. However, if there is no Vendir log file, then it will fail like that. It will do the sync. It will create a vendor folder, sync the stuff, but it will exit with a non-zero exit code, which is bad for our script. If, however, I do a successful sync, which produces a Vendir log file, so the log file is now in place. And if I then do my selective sync, then it will work fine. So that's the issue in a nutshell. And I can also show the way the behavior changes when you run the fix that we are proposing. So I remove my log file. And then I run this with a patched version. Then what you get in terms of log file is kind of a log file containing only one of those directories, and you no longer get the failure. And yeah, again, this would be useful if it worked, because currently we have to work around this problem with a bit of awkward code.
What happened if you do Vendir sync again without the directory?
I think in that case, it just adds on to the log file.
Okay, just ignore it. It doesn't read the log file, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't in this case anyway. Question would be if you were to execute this with the locked. I would hope it would lock the version that it has in the log file. But anyway, now it has completed the log file. It has added onto it.
I was trying to think if it would make sense for us to generate the log file if you just try to sync a single folder, a single directory or not. But I think it would be okay.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, you are in a similar situation anyway if people add on to the vendor configuration, right? So somebody adds a directory to a vendor YAML that has been previously synced. There will be an incomplete log file that still you should be still able to use that, right? So in a way, you're currently already, you have to deal with this functionality already, or with that particular situation, that your log file is not complete. But I would expect that it locks whatever it has versions for in the log file.
Sounds good. I don't have any question here. Do you have any question, Neil? I don't know. I'm working more.
No, I
the
don't have
tool
any
than me.
questions.
No. Okay.
That looks like the right way to go about the problem.
Awesome. Then please have a look at the pull request we have submitted.
I'm going to Carvel accept the issue as well. And we'll take a look into the PR.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Fritz, for showing us that and all the work you put into that. All right. Okay, so the next thing we had on our agenda was the docs work that Abby, one of coworkers on my team, the community engagement team at VMware, she's helping us improve our docs overall. She's traveling right now, so she's not able to come to the meeting today. She wants to come at our next community meeting to go over all this and get folks' feedback and input. So I encourage you to go look at this doc that she's put together. Things that she's noticed that's missing, any edits that could be made, et cetera, so that you have an idea ahead of time on what she will be showcasing to us. So super exciting that we're getting this help. It's been much needed for some time. She was on maternity leave for a while, and then she had other stuff on her plate. So now she's able to get to us. So if you, as a user of Carvel, review this and notice that there's some things that are missing from this that you think should definitely be looked at or improved or added to our docs or website or anything like that, please add your suggestion. we would love to know from users' perspective as well as to what's missing, and anything that's difficult about onboarding into the tools, anything at all. We want to make sure we improve as much as possible. So that's all I have for my end. Is there anything else folks wish to bring up before we part ways?
Yes. Nobody else? Okay. I'll do me then. So Thomas created a proposal for forget for what. You know what I'm talking about. Where's that?
Signing artifacts.
Signing artifacts. There you go. We should have. Did he presented it already on the community meeting?
Last time, yes.
It did. Okay, I was not here. Or was I? I forget about it. Okay, so we should, like, if it is good, it is okay, we should have people look through it and comment it, add some comments to it, so that we can try to do the same thing that we're going to do with the one from Vindir, right? Is it finalized? Does anyone know? Or does it still need some work?
The signing proposal. So I guess the only open question was whether or not we also want to sign one Docker image that we have, which has all the Carvel tools in it. And I think that was resolved on Slack. So I haven't gone through it in detail, but I believe that was the only open question there. But I'll be taking a look after this meeting.
So if that's the case, we should ask Thomas to change the status to in review, and so we can put it in the channel as well and give people roughly like a week to also review it and see if there's like any question or anything, and we follow the same process because this is like a more generic thing. It's not like tool related. We'll do the same process, but then we'll need at least one approval for each tool. Okay. One approval, when I say that, it's like one approver or lead would have to thumbs up this. Okay. Sounds good. All right.
Yeah, I know that he had shared it in Slack after last meeting, but it sounds like what he needed to do was change it to review and then allow for a week of comments.
Okay. And let's make an advertisement from there as well when that's done. And please, approvers and leads, do read through the proposal. And then we'll try to, if it is accepted, we'll go through it, and we'll have to, I believe, create some issues for all the tools for this to be implemented. I think that was me, Nancy. Back to you.
Great stuff, Joao. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, I'll Salmik, are you gonna let Thomas know or to change it to yeah, cool. And I'll make sure to also try to share it in Twitter or all the fun stuff to get the word out, to put in some comments. And then same for all the other ones we talked about today.
Just one thing, Fritz, like, I'm not sure if you're like planning to do that, but I think you've pushed out your proposal to your branch, right? You should probably create a PR for that too, so that we can like comment on it.
Yeah, just on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Any other questions, comments? All right. Thank you again for everyone who attended today and shared what you're working on. It's super exciting to see the contributions that are being made to Carvel outside of the team. Just super helpful, and we really appreciate it. And let me know if you want some Carvel swag, because I will gladly send you stuff. I got all sorts of fun goodies I can send, not just t-shirts. So Yeah, thank you. Have a good evening, everybody, and good day to those who are about to really start their work day. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.